This podcast is brought to you by our sponsor, 4eyes.com. As a gamer, you know your eyes will be strained after playing your favorite game for hours on end. 4eyes blue light blocking glasses protects your eyes while you're gaming, preventing fatigue and keeps you at your top of your game so you can reach the next level. Find your style at 4eyes.com. All glasses are 50% off, plus get an extra 20% off with using the promo code LIGL20. That's FOOREYES.com and use promo code LIGL20 for an extra 20% off.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning into another episode of the Long Island Gaming League. Of course, it is a pleasure to have you guys tune in, and we hope you enjoyed this episode as much as you do all the others. This is one of your hosts, Dennis, chiming in today with my co-host, as always, Bruno. What's going on, man?
What's going on, Dennis? What's going on? How's everything going, man? How's everybody out there? Hope everybody's staying safe. Hope everybody is playing video games and, taking their mind off of the crazy world that we have right now. Hope we have another nice episode in for you guys. And if it's not with any further ado, I would like to introduce our guest. This is Jacquie Lamm, head coach of Esports from Minnesota State University. How you doing, Jacquie?
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm great. I'm Jacquie, R.A.K. Lugnuts. I'm the head esports coach for Minnesota State Mankato here in Minnesota, Mankato. It's currently 70 degrees out, so we've got a nice little stint of weather out.
Nice. Yeah, we had some nice weather here in New York today. It was definitely a blessing. I'm getting spoiled now. I'm starting to get used to it, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed. It continues to be nice weather.
Definitely.
For sure. It was for me working outside today. I was telling everybody, says I can work like this every day forever. I love it. It's beautiful. It's comfortable. You don't have to put clothes on. You don't have to take them off. You don't sweat. You don't feel frozen. Today was perfect, but we're getting rain over here tomorrow, so perfect's done.
Yeah. Thanks, Bruno. Just got my hopes down.
Sorry. I had to. Wah. So, Jacquie, let everybody know a little bit more about yourself besides, knowing that you are the head coach. Let everybody know a little bit more about yourself, your background, what video games do you like?
Yeah, so I am just a gamer at heart. I've been playing my whole life. My current favorite game is Warzone. COD, gotta get the grind in. My background, I've been advising schools and universities for about 3 years. I have a master's in higher education, and while I was attending school at the current university, I created a project, anything that I wanted, and I decided to pursue gaming. And that's kind of where it started for my esports career. I didn't really think about it until that class, and it just kind of skyrocketed from there, and it kind of blew up. And I'm really happy the path I've gone on, and I'm just really excited to be in gaming and esports in general.
Nice. So you're a COD player now. Shout out to all my COD players. I personally am an Apex Legends player, so I don't know if you play that one, but so Jacquie, what was your very, very first video game?
Man, well, probably, like the Super Marios, most of those back on the Super Nintendo. But Zombies Ate My Neighbors. I think that was the first one that me and my sister, that was a long time ago. And then like Monkey Island and all the Donkey Kongs, and it went from there.
Nice.
Very nice.
No, the alien, the zombie was what? That was on Nintendo or
Super Nintendo.
Super Nintendo. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Zombies Ate My Neighbors. It's a classic. It's a very hard game, but it's really funny to play.
I haven't heard that name in years. That's going back for a while. I mean, Donkey Kong, okay, that's like been around for a while, but that game, that's bad when you start thinking like, wow, it was a long time ago, and then it's like, whoa, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, and all the generations of consoles that came after that and PCs, it's crazy to think about. I like people that have like the shrines for all those that look all pretty. It's like, oh, I had that one and that one and that one.
Yeah. Well,
But you look at it like mine's not that pretty. Mine's used. Those are too new. It's like, yeah, that's that whole thing. It's like you start looking at it, you start thinking, yeah, mine's not worth as much money as yours for.
Hi, you're tuned into the Long Island Gaming League, and this show is sponsored by Vertigear, a top gamer chair brand trusted by many esports teams. Long hours, no back pain, comfortable chairs for home office and gaming. Make sure you check out Vertigear.com and get your Vertigear gaming chair today. Now, back to the show.
Oh, that's crazy. It's how things change. I mean, what in being a head coach of an esports team, but at the same time being a gamer and being around video games for a good amount of years, from different generations, different consoles. Do you notice a lot of difference from, and let's not talk about the internet because the internet changes everything. Do you notice a lot of difference in terms of the gamers today from when you were playing in high school and college?
I guess this question could be taken differently, but I definitely think so. When I was growing up, being a female gamer, it's hard enough, but I think that in today we're more accepted compared to when I was younger. Guys would just like kind of make fun of me and be like, "Oh, you're a gamer. What do you play? Chess or solitaire?" It's like, "No, I play Halo. I'll take you one-on-one." Like,
don't play with me.
No, I wasn't that good. I just pretended.
Oh, okay.
But like being able to hop in a lobby now, and just being able to play with your friends, I do think the gaming in general just has changed a lot, and I'm hoping it's going towards at least collegiate play in a better direction than it has been, and I'm trying to work with my players with that personally, and I'm excited to see what's happening. There's a lot of movements going on around right now and trying to be a part of it.
Interesting. So you kind of mentioned that when Bruno asked the differences and you say yes it is, what I guess are some of the trials and the tribulations that you've kind of faced playing games or being a girl gamer that I guess you can maybe overcome, or you still kind of think you're in the issue? Because I mean, there's so many different ways to talk about esports, and there's so many different aspects, but to be able to have your personal opinion in what you've experienced, I think will be great for some of our girl gamers to hear, just some of the younger gamers who may not really understand the perspective that you have.
I personally am still struggling today to overcome some of my own fears. I definitely work with all of my female players to get them playing with co-ed and just with anyone so that they can get a feeling that they're accepted and positive right away. I still have a struggle turning on my own mic. I just did my league play for COD a month or so ago, and I was shaking while I was trying to turn my mic on just to let people know, because I was so afraid that people were gonna yell at me or make fun of me or degrade me for being a female, so I just couldn't do it. But that's kind of like my number one goal for female gamers, is be able to turn that mic on. And I've seen such good examples. I know it's weird to say, but on TikTok, I have a lot of like TikToks that come up. I'm just like, I wish I could say that. I wish I could be strong enough to like come back. And these women aren't coming back with harsh comments. They're coming back with such witty and such positive comments that the guys are just like, oh, okay, I guess.
All right, you got me.
Yeah. Yep.
Interesting.
I mean, it's. Do you think that how am I going to say? I mean, yeah, you're talking about when you were playing, that stigma of being a female gamer and all that. Do you think, or do you see? I mean, I know there's changes. I know, especially with the whole streaming and all that there are a lot. Actually, I feel there's a lot more female streamers and gamers right now, at least in the eye of the public, than men. Do you see at some point that stigma literally going away for sure? Or you still think that that stigma is around, and you think it's still gonna last?
I hope one day it's gone. I don't think it's gonna go away for a long time though. There's still just gonna be guys who just I feel like don't appreciate or feel like women can be at the same caliber as them. I know there was one female who won a COD tournament and she didn't get invited to play back just regular. She had to ask them. It's like, well, come on. She won out of everyone. This wasn't a female only tournament. And she should just automatically get invited back because she won, but she wasn't. And she made a huge Twitter post about it. And the company owner was like, you've got to invite anytime you want now. It's because she made that social media post about it. And so I think social media holds a really big grounds for positive movement and really point out certain stigmas.
This podcast is brought to you by our sponsor, 4eyes.com. As a gamer, you know your eyes will be strained after playing your favorite game for hours on end. 4eyes blue light blocking glasses protects your eyes while you're gaming, preventing fatigue and keeps you at your top of your game so you can reach the next level. Find your style at 4eyes.com. All glasses are 50% off. Plus, get an extra 20% off with using the promo code LIGL20. That's FOOREYES.com. And use promo code LIGL20 for an extra 20% off. Okay. At least it's a good sign that, especially coming from a female, that you see that things are kind of changing. Although I think it should have changed years ago, because I mean, there are, and this is coming from the perspective of a player that's been playing for 3/4 of his life and used to be a part of the world that you were, with the whole thing of not that many females or not thinking a female as a player. But at the same time, me getting my butt waxed by a team of female players, and you're like, you have no words to say that this is back then. Now I think it's a lot more, I feel it's a lot more acceptable, and it's just, but it should be something that should be normal. It shouldn't be acceptable. It should be normal.
Yeah, it should definitely be more normalized. It shouldn't just be acceptable. I think that's definitely the term that needs to just kind of go away. It should just be everyone is gonna play. That's kind of collegiate play is very about inclusive. I can't say that word. Inclusivity. Yeah, thank you. I'm horrible with some words. And so I hold a zero toxicity policy with all my players. If anyone is having issues, I usually give them a warning. Or we do have mental health coaches and a sports psychologist that they're able to talk to, especially when they're tilting or just trying to figure out why they're saying these things to their teammates, so that we can come back and move forward and just realize that if you're bringing someone down, you're probably bringing down the whole team. There's no reason to be like that.
Yeah, I think it's sometimes the kids, when they do that, even if it's not with bad intentions, they forget the whole thing of, you're not just bringing down one person, especially if that person's a part of a team. You're bringing a lot more people down, and I think when they do that, it's unconsciously they're being selfish in a way, and it's just, but it has to do with the world that we live in. I mean, you see, not just with women, you see with everything, with all different types of, LGBT and now with the races, with the Asians, and it's just, I think we're in a time of, it's not time of change, it's more like in between, and it's just, it has to end quick, because I think the world's just getting too toxic. It's just getting very toxic, and it's causing a lot of issues for a lot of people.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
So Jacquie, I guess I have a question for you. When you're playing, what kind of is your motivation when you play? Do you play as more fun, casual, or do you kind of have like that competitive, aspect of when you're playing COD or any game? Like what's your general driver when you pick up do you play with it on a console or a PC? I should ask.
A PC. I do have a PlayStation and Xbox, but I haven't touched them for a while. I just got a next gen PC, so I've been playing on that for a while.
Got it. And then so when you play, is it more of a competitive thing or just kind of like you get on it, it's like a fun, like a stress relief?
It's both. There are some days where me and my friends will hop on and we're like, okay, we're going for first place. That's what we're gonna go for today. And then there's other days where we just hop around cars and mess around with some grenade launchers and trying to mess up everyone else's game by running them over.
Okay, cool.
It kind of just depends on the day and what kind of stress that everyone has. We do a couple tournaments. Definitely not at that high pro level, but we can hold our own. So.
It's always a good stress reliever when you run over people with a car.
It's so sad to say, but it is. It's just funny because then their teammates come out and you're like, I'm gonna get you too, and either they're gonna get you with a Semtex or throw a C4 a mile away and you still blow up, and you're like, that's very realistic right now.
Yeah.
That's
why I walked away from COD a little bit too, and I was a big COD player. It's just too much. COD right now is just I think it's in a bad place. It needs change. But that's my opinion, though.
Well, listen, I still love COD. I've had every single one that has ever came out. It usually comes out around my birthday, so I was only buying COD. But you would think I'm good at it, and I'm not. So I genuinely play it for just for the sheer love of it, and then to get my luck wins, I call them. You know, it's just like, oh, I just really won. You believe that? I know these guys play all the time, guys and girls. They're into it, and me, I come on there and get a couple luck chucks. But they usually call me common. No, what do you guys call it? Common fodder, or gun fodder, or something you guys call it when I play. I'm basically the decoy. Anytime I play with my guys, I'm the decoy. They're like, yeah, go ahead, go get them. And then they attack me, and then they kind of circle around. But I think Call of Duty is a lot of fun. But with your team at Minnesota, what are the games that at your school? What games do you guys play or compete in?
So for this semester, we're competing in League of Legends, CS:GO, Madden, and Rocket League. And then for the spring, we are recruiting for all those teams, plus Call of Duty multiplayer, Warzone, Valorant, TFT, and Fortnite, and Smash. But Smash is up in the woods because no one really knows what collegiate play for Smash looks like right now.
Got it. And were you a part of the decision of what games we're going to be playing? Like, how did you guys determine these are the games we're going to compete in, for our school on the collegiate level?
We started out with just League, and then we had a CS:GO club. So we have two very large clubs on our campuses, a League of Legends club and a CS:GO club, and then just a general gaming club. But League of Legends, we knew for sure that we were going to have, and then the CS:GO team came together. And from that, we've been just promoting very heavily on social media and networking through LinkedIn and just anywhere else. And with that, we found more students, and we have enough interest to add the other teams. So we currently are recruiting between 70 and 80 varsity players for fall. Yeah. And for first time varsity program, it's quite the jump. So we're very excited how much bigger we've gotten, but we have a lot of work ahead of us this summer.
Very nice. Now, from those 70 that you guys are recruiting, is that mostly male, or you also have a lot of females that are trying out and making it?
I do have several females that will be trying out and will make teams, but it's still heavily dominated by males. We'll be doing some targeted female recruitment coming up through some of the channels like Stay Plugged In. There's some AVGL trials, and then NACEF just partnered with NACE, and so they're doing a pipeline between high school and collegiate, so we'll be able to target females that way also.
Very nice.
Nice. Letting them know that there's a place for them to play. So with I guess the recruitment, is it so how do you guys get some of your tactics you recruit? It's just like online, or only kind of internal students who are already there and you bring them on into the club? Or is there external where if a student is interested maybe coming to your school, you deal with that as well?
We do both. So we definitely do internal, just around our campus, but then we do a lot of external. So we're posting on as many Discords as we can that we're recruiting students. Through social media, we're definitely doing that. And then we have radio ads, and just anywhere else that I can basically put out the word that we're a new program. We are having a varsity team for esports. We want you to come play for us, live the dream while you're getting your education.
Nice. It's
Nice.
pretty awesome.
I mean, yeah, I think that's very good, especially with the whole thing of the target with the female. I think, from what I've noticed, I don't see many female players at least in the college level, and you see when they come out of college that they're pretty good, but I don't know if it has to do with the other colleges not focusing on females, or maybe they're afraid to try out. I don't know.
I think it's maybe both. I still think that some females are afraid to try out. I do have one player who she just doesn't think she's good enough. And so for our program, I want everyone to try out. And if you don't make the varsity team, that's why we have clubs, and we'll still get you into tournaments. You might not be at the top tournaments that we can get you into, or the leagues, but we'll find something for you to play in. And that way you still have a fun experience.
That's
Nice.
That's very nice. I mean, I like that idea, and I don't know if I speak for myself. I don't know if Dennis has the same opinion, but I actually don't think I've heard anything like that before from other colleges. Have you?
Hi, you're tuned into the Long Island Gaming League, and this show is sponsored by Vertigear, a top gamer chair brand trusted by many esports teams. Long hours, no back pain, comfortable chairs for home office and gaming. Make sure you check out vertigear.com and get your Vertigear gaming chair today. Now, back to the show.
No, I haven't, and I don't know if it's because they haven't spoken about it, but I definitely haven't seen it. So for you guys to have an approach and actually talk about it, which I think is the biggest thing, right? If we don't talk about these things or people aren't aware of it, then, it leaves a lot of opportunities. And sometimes I just feel esports in general, at a high school or middle school level, a lot of parents or a lot of students don't know about the opportunities that esports are creating in the world of college. So I think that your initiative is really great, because I haven't heard anybody say, we'll advertise or anything like that. So the fact that you're taking that initiative, I think is amazing. Now, how old is your actual program? Is it a year, 2 years old, or it's really, really brand new?
It's brand new. So this was our first semester. We did start in the fall, but we didn't have any teams compete. We just kind of did some soft scrims, a couple tournaments here and there, and then we officially started competing in the spring.
Nice. And what schools usually fall under, I guess, for you guys? Is it like what was it, like the MAC, or what conference does your school fall under?
So we're a D2 school, and it's I have it in Discord. I just can't remember what it's called.
It's just, I'm on the spot. Wait a minute.
Right. It's the NSIC.
Okay.
And that's Northern Sun Conference. I think that's kind of what our schools, but Minnesota's really weird because we're right in the center, so we're not considered East or West. So sometimes we get put in like a West Conference, and it's like, wait, we want to be in the East Conference. It's more close to our time, and the pings are way better for Rocket League.
Right. She was like, hey, there's a reason behind this. We went over here.
Yeah, I complain about that to a lot of leagues that don't do coin flips and put us in a West Conference, and I've gotten a couple to allow coin flips. I understand that we can't always have our way, but as long as we have an opportunity to at least do a coin flip, then I'm happy.
Got it. I guess another question. So considering you happen to be one of the female esports coaches, how do you find it to coach in esports if it's perceived to be predominantly male? driven. Do you think it's easier because of the sport itself, esports? Is it a little bit more difficult? Like, what is your approach and how do you deal with that?
I think it's maybe 50-50. I have several students and players who I definitely feel more comfortable talking to them, both male and female, just because I feel like they connect with me better or might respect me better. And then I've come across some students who unfortunately didn't have that, and their attitudes were just too poor, and because of that they're not able to be on the varsity team or in general on any of our leagues because they're just too toxic, and that's unfortunate. But being a female, I always come across trying to be strong and just having an open mind and trying to get them to also, because I might not know your game specifically 100%, but I'm very well versed in just about all the games, even though Warzone is my passion. But I just try and keep up with social media and just all the updates for all the games, and I think that helps when trying to discuss going further with titles and with my players.
Sure,
Nice.
sure. Do you see, like, you talk about toxicity and all that? Do you see that being more game related, like certain players for certain games are more toxic than others, or you think that's more general?
I think it's more general. But I think if you ask anyone, anyone else, they might be like, oh, well, League players are super toxic, or you know what, those Fortnite kids are so toxic. But then you can come across and be like, you know what, those Call of Duty people, they just don't understand. They're just toxic all the time in the gulag. So I think it's any game. It just depends on what type of person you're talking to and what games they're passionate about. Because someone might not say bad things about a game if they're super passionate. I think in general, anyone can be toxic in a game, and we strive to really push that away and try to have everyone just be a lot more positive. It is changing the way that most collegiate programs are looking more into that and taking team members off of their lineup because of an issue, even when they do a social media post or are just too toxic because of something else. And I think that's great, because they do need to change, and we do need to show the younger generation that we want a positive outcome, and what you post now and how you play will affect you being able to play in the future.
Right. With your students and their degrees, do you see like there's a pattern as far as like the type of degrees some of your students are taking that are part of esports, or is it a wide variety of different industries and interests that they have outside of when they come to play for your team?
Right now, I see more of a pattern of we have a sports management degree and computer engineering, or just engineering in general. But going forward, I can definitely see more of a communications and social media marketing. We'll be hiring assistant coaches, more marketing people. We have shoutcasters coming on board and more production crew. So it's not just about the varsity players, but more, I think the degrees, we're just going to see more of just in general what people want to go towards, and then being able to play video games as well.
Nice. Okay. It definitely makes sense. It seems they'll have more of a applicable skill set. If they're like, hey, I want to do casting or broadcasting or something, and I get to play a game or play something that I like, and then learn how to do what I might get a job, say working for some big news station, or even maybe working, continue to work in the industry. I think that's pretty cool. I know when I was in school, I didn't really have the opportunity to really be able to do what I like to do and still be at school and have fun doing it, where like, they'll say, oh, I get paid to do what I love, right? It's kind of like, oh, I get to go to school and do what I love. Like that's just kind of like an amazing thing to be able to say that now, versus there's not much stuff you can really say that about in general, where you like, I get paid to do what I love, or I get to go to school doing what I love. So
I don't know, for sure. I mean, it's a different world, and things are things are things are different. You know, it's. I mean, it's crazy how things are, and it's crazy how things go. You know, it's just it's a funny way. It's a funny thing the way things go. You know, it's just it's like you're saying. I personally think never. I mean, looking back from all the years how things have changed from when everything started. I mean, to now, I don't think we've ever been in a time where change has been so obvious, but still a lot more change needs to be done in a lot of stuff. I mean, that's what I think. I don't know if you guys have the same opinion, though. If you think that more things need to be changed, if you think things are good the way they are. This podcast is brought to you by our sponsors at 4eyes.com, your go-to source to blue light blocking glasses. Blue light emitted through electronic devices like gaming screens can cause damage to your eyesight and affect your playing ability. With 4eyes blue light blocking glasses, you can protect your eyes and prevent fatigue, allowing you to play at your best for hours. Built for style and comfort, all glasses are now 50% off. Use the promo code LIGL20 for an extra 20% off. That's FOOREYES.com. Use promo code LIGL20 for an extra 20% off.
There's always room for improvement.
I agree. I think there's always room for improvement, and change is always good, though. That's one of my personal philosophies, that change can be positive. You just got to spin it the right way.
Right. True. So, Jacquie, what would you think is the biggest misconception about gamers in general, and then also being a female gamer? If the world is listening, what misconceptions would you like to kind of clarify or put some light on?
One of the things that I struggle with is when people say that gaming is a disease. You might have the one-off person who just games too much that they do need to seek additional help. But in general, we're working, we're living our lives, and then we're also playing video games. Pro players are making a living, and they're grinding their game, but they're also working on their PT, they're working on their wellness, their fitness. So we're not just sitting in a basement anymore and playing some random game. We're working towards things that are going to be relatable in the real world. And video gamers, we can have skills for that. We are working on our team building, we're working on strategic play, we're working on our communications. So for someone to just come and say that, oh, you're just a gamer, well, yeah, I'm proud to be a gamer. I love to tell people that I work in esports now, and I love my job.
Nice. And you mentioned this before. You talk about the fitness aspect of gaming, and and just like I said, there's probably a lot of people who don't even realize that aspect. At your school or with your students, do they follow like kind of a specific regiment geared toward fitness, or is it just general, like kind of we go to the gym and that's kind of it? Like what is I guess if you can give an ideal of what type of fitness people may think of when it comes to gaming?
An ideal fitness, and what we are going to be implementing in the fall, would be to, like, in between matches, or if you're solo queuing and you mess up, well, you know what, you have to run around the room, or you've got to do jumping jacks, or you've got to do like a plank. And then in general, you should be hitting the gym a couple times a week when you have time. But in between games, when it's not a match day, we want you to be active. We don't want you to just be sitting around. But that comes into the physical therapy too. We want to make sure that you're sitting in a correct chair, that your posture is accurate, and that your hands, because your hands are very important. One of my players just messaged me today and said that he smashed his hand and he's supposed to play tomorrow with a controller. I'm like, oh, sad. What are we gonna do? So that goes into it also, just being able to, make sure that your hands are being well taken care of, and that we have physical therapy people that we can go to if we need to.
Yeah, I think that's and I asked the question because I feel it's very important that it's heard. The reason being is because I've always looked at the esports industry as it continues to grow to be the wild, wild west,
Yep.
right? But it's still very much driven by a younger generation. They're the we've all had the luxury of experiencing it, and we're kind of talking about some of the nostalgia of when we were young, right? But the youth that doesn't have the understanding that maybe we have grown to understand, and their parents don't really have the understanding that they know. And then, fitness is important because you could actually get injured, or, you could have this misconception. And that's not often, from what I have heard or from what I've seen, the point you made are amazing because they're not often talked about. But they are very important, and they're important because they're coming from a structured place. Like, this is what you do for a living. You're an esports coach at a college. So you know what you're talking about. But then you have so many kids and so many parents who don't know that if you support your child now, then you have a better understanding of what they're doing. So gaming isn't such a bad thing. And I just kind of feel that certain things in the gaming world we take for granted because we may not talk about it. But I really appreciate you addressing just like the fitness thing. Like, we get up, they run around, they'll sprint or whatever, because that's important. It's not just gaming, so.
Definitely. I feel like one of the three biggest things that is really just hasn't been talked about more that I've mentioned that is being talked a whole lot more, mental health, wellness, and physical therapy. A lot of people I didn't even realize physical therapy could be implemented for esports until last month when I spoke to a doctor about it. So that's just one other thing that we could use, and we're going to.
No.
It's like you said, one of the players got hurt in the hand. I mean, from all the things that you can get hurt of, the last thing you want to get hurt is the hand. And there's the physical therapy helps. I mean, bad posture is enough to ruin you in a way that you can get pain and carpal tunnel and stuff like that. So I mean, it was just a matter of time until they really started implementing, medical treatment and physical therapy into it. Because I mean, at the end of the day, regardless of what everybody says, esports players are athletes, and they use their body to do what they do, even if it's just their hands and their eyes. But it's still parts of your body that can get injured very easily. I mean, if you don't take care of them, you don't exercise them, you don't stretch your hands, you don't stretch your arms, you don't have a proper chair, you can get hurt to a point that it will affect you for the rest of your life outside of esports. I just think that people, don't see that, because I think there's that stigma of, they're not athletes, so why do they take care of their bodies? They have to.
Very true. I love that you kept saying that they are athletes, because we are, and the sooner the world realizes that, I think the better.
Yeah, I think they slowly are. And this, I guess, have you come across? Do you know of any other esports, female esports coaches in the collegiate world? Are you like the first, or are we blessed to be able to speak to the first and only, Jacquie, or is it slowly creeping into the industry?
I'm definitely not the first. Some of the people that I look up to are Victoria Horsley. She has been in the collegiate world for a long time. I can't remember this individual's name, but she just became a director of a new college. But then AJ, she works for Park University. And my new best friend who I found through the esports world is Danielle, and she is the head coach for LTU, and that's Lawrence Tech University.
That's
I bounced
awesome.
so many ideas off of her. We found each other through a NACE webinar, and it's just nice to be able to talk to her about some of the struggles of being a female coach and going through the players and how we can address. We'll send messages to be like, is this okay to send to a player, and we'll just correct each other and try to be more professional about it. And there's a lot more female coaches coming up, and I'm proud of them, and I'm excited to see more.
That's awesome. I'm actually excited to hear that, and I'm glad to be learning it. So great that we have the opportunity to speak with you. If if a young lady was listening, I guess, and she was interested in esports, kind of what advice would you give her?
Don't be afraid to turn on your mic. I think that's one of the best things that someone can do is to just turn on the mic and really show that you do have a strong presence and that you are trying to become better at your game and you're trying to hone your skill. And you can't do that if you're not communicating with random people. Definitely play with your friends, but get out there and play with some random people and really create a team. You can always come to our school too, and our website is esports.mnsu.edu, and I'll get you on our team.
No, well, there you go. There you go. Listen, got to make sure they know where to go. Because we've worked with because we know that your background is in education, and we've worked with some students ourselves, and we've had some young ladies who have played. I think we had one who actually played COD, but before.
It's more Fortnite.
Oh, it was more Fortnite, and but it was just the dynamics of the interaction is very interesting just to kind of watch. But we have seen that in our experience, and maybe you could let us know if it's been yours, but in our experience, when we have them in person and they're playing a certain game together, guys and girls, they're able to connect for the love of the game, and it makes it a lot more interesting to watch them play. Do you find that to be true with your team as well? Like, do they interact nicely, or do you still feel is that there's that possible toxicness or just bad blood, even though when they're playing in the same arena or in person?
I think I've seen a positive outcome. I have 3 players that have been in the AVGL Warzone League for the past month. While they aren't on a varsity team, they are trying out for multiplayer and Warzone for our fall. And one of them's a female, and they just love playing with her. She loves playing with them. They banter back and forth just like everyone else, but then they're very supportive of each other. And they're always, she can't get her mic to work sometimes, and they're literally just going to figure out why her Xbox mic isn't working so that they can communicate. Because if you can't communicate in COD, you're gonna die pretty quickly.
That's you're done for with that one. I know all too well. Turn my back and my team's gone. Where'd they go? Where'd they go?
Then they don't even answer to comms. It's like, oh, what happened? Well, you left me here. Oh, you didn't even know. Dennis knows that side, unfortunately, and
listen, I'm cannon fodder. That's it. That's what I'm cannon fodder. That's what they use me for. I put it on the mic, and it's just, we got him on the team.
It would be funny. It's like you go see at the end of the game. It's like Dennis has like 2 kills. Everybody has like 15, 14. I'm like, what happened, Dennis? I don't know. I just kept on dying, and we're not quiet. We just stay quiet and not say a word.
Hi. You're tuned into the Long Island Gaming League, and this show is sponsored by Vertigear, a top gamer chair brand trusted by many esports teams. Long hours, no back pain, comfortable chairs for home office and gaming. Make sure you check out Vertigear.com and get your Vertigear gaming chair today. Now, back to the show.
You were finding them all. That's what you were doing.
Exactly. See, exactly.
He's like the hound that goes and takes the birds out of the bush. We just shoot them down.
I have the purpose, man. I always laugh when I see those memes, and it's just like they talk about, oh, here's my team. It's like the trash bags. Yeah, that's me. That's me all day. I always see I can laugh at that. It's me.
Yeah, I like sending those to my friends too. It's like, hey, this is us today.
Right. Oh man. And I guess I have one more question to Bruno. I'm not sure if you do. Well, no, I may have 2. Okay. So the one I have is if there was anything that how do you feel with do you prefer to play COD or prefer to play remote, or do you think it's a better experience when gaming can be done in, like an arena or at a LAN center?
I definitely feel like it's better if you're at a training facility or an arena, because remotely I would have to find a way to watch my teams. So right now someone has to stream or Discord stream, and those don't always work, or someone's ping's bad, or someone's internet isn't as good. If someone is at our training facility, I can just stand behind them, social distancing, but I can watch them and I can listen to their communication. And I think people like LAN parties because, you know, back in the day, LAN parties when people got together, and the one time of the year they got to see their friends that they might not see for a long time. And it just brings back all that nostalgia again, that we're going to be playing together instead of just online.
That's cool. Very, very interesting. No, I like that. Bruno, you got a question before I ask my infamous question?
No, you go ahead. I want to hear the answer.
Oh.
I don't know if Jackie's ready for it. I don't know if she's ready for it.
No, she's not. She ain't ready for this, for sure. Go ahead, Dennis.
So, Jacquie, if when you're playing a game, what song would you choose that you would say best describes your gameplay? What would be the name of that song?
My Chemical Romance, Black Parade.
Oh, okay. Hey, she was ready for it. She had it down.
That was right on the tip, right there. So she, very good. That's we Dennis tends to throw that question out, and everybody's like, you caught me now.
I wasn't prepared for that, but that I just feel like, you know, you start off slow, just going, and then you just hit that high and you just go, and then the drums come in and everyone's freaking out, and then the ending happens and you're all hyped.
Yeah. No, I love it, and I appreciate you for really answering that question. You know, because I've come to find that, you know, gaming is such an extension of who we are and what we like. And, you know, same thing like with music, right? If you like music, you feel a certain way. When you're playing games, you're kind of like in a, you know, you're yourself, but you're enjoying, you're in the moment. And I think music captures that moment. So that's why I like to ask that question when it comes to gaming, because it's kind of like, how does that person feel when they're playing, right? But if you put a song to it, then you really understand. So I appreciate you answering that question.
Definitely.
So, before we wrap it up, is there anything that maybe we didn't necessarily cover that you would like to kind of speak about or promote or let all of our listeners know? The floor is yours, Jacquie.
I guess I'm just gonna plug myself a little bit. We have open houses, virtual, in person, for anyone that's out of state, coming up once a month. You can find everything on our website, and that's esports.mnsu.edu. Our 10 titles, we are always open to more titles too. I've heard some whispers of Hearthstone and Overwatch of some students. So if anyone wants to at least register for our varsity program, I'll always look into a way to help them at least play a tournament or get into some gaming somehow.
Okay. And then parents could also, I guess, visit the website to get more information about your esports programs or reach out to you. Is that possible as well? Like through that information you provided?
Yep, of course. You can email us, and it's esports@mnsu.edu. Sounds just like our website.
Keep it simple, right?
Yep.
If you mess up one, you get the other.
Yep.
You got anything else, Dennis?
No, listen, man. Bruno, it's all yours, and you can kind of close this out, man. I have nothing else.
Alrighty, everybody, you heard it here. It's another episode with Jacquie. I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode as much as we did to do it. Jacquie, from my side, I really want to thank you for coming on. It's always a pleasure to have somebody from representing a college come out to talk to us, especially, and you have the pleasure of being the first female player, but female, representing anybody outside of players on our podcast. And I mean, it was a pleasure on from my side to have you here. If anything, and if in any future you want to come back on, or if you have anybody that you know that wants to come on or be interested to be a part of one of our episodes, please feel free to get in touch with us whenever you want. Besides that, I think that is it, everybody. Really appreciate you guys coming and listening to our episode. Hope to see you guys in the near future. From me and Dennis, that's pretty much it. Peace out, everybody.
All right.
This podcast is brought to you by our sponsors at 4eyes.com, your go-to source to blue light blocking glasses. Blue light emitted through electronic devices like gaming screens can cause damage to your eyesight and affect your playing ability. With 4eyes blue light blocking glasses, you can protect your eyes and prevent fatigue, allowing you to play at your best for hours. Built for style and comfort, all glasses are now 50% off. Use the promo code LIGL20 for an extra 20% off. That's FOOREYES.com. Use promo code LIGL20 for an extra 20% off. This podcast is brought to you by our sponsors at 4eyes.com, your go-to source to blue light blocking glasses. Blue light emitted through electronic devices like gaming screens can cause damage to your eyesight and affect your playing ability. With 4eyes blue light blocking glasses, you can protect your eyes and prevent fatigue, allowing you to play at your best for hours. Built for style and comfort, all glasses are now 50% off. Use the promo code LIGL20 for an extra 20% off. That's FOOREYES.com. Use promo code LIGL20 for an extra 20% off.